Something that we need to talk about are mobile homes and manufactured homes. Now, sure, it's easy to dismiss them as affordable housing options. I think we've all seen some pretty bad examples of these types of homes, some even calling them money sinks in the way that they just depreciate over time as compared to regular real estate, which you would expect to keep going higher and higher, at least in this housing market, right?
Phyllis Knuckles and her daughter Tammy Hunley, both are widows, are being kicked out of their mobile home community. They've lived together and have owned this single-wide trailer since 2018. They pay lot rent to the Amherst Ridge Mobile Home Park, which is owned by the Yes Communities.
It's a notice to vacate.
This eviction notice received March 15th gave them 30 days to leave.
It's from our office manager, Jerry Day.
Tammy and her mom have poor health, and they live on limited fixed incomes. Their $449 lot rent was always paid on time until this month.
I've never been one day late with a lot payment.
Yet you missed it
Just this month.
one time.
This is ridiculous.
Now, one guy that I know, he always tells me, don't buy unless you own the land beneath you. So what do you guys think? That'd almost be as bad as buying a house with an HOA, but I'll save that for another one. What he was coming from was how he was low income and he really wanted a house, so he thought a manufactured home was his best bet. Now, as it turns out, it was a total nightmare just trying to get a conventional mortgage for it. Now, apparently, due to the possible large rent increases, parks could also wind up being a nightmare that could cause you to lose your home, even if your house is paid off. It's kind of like when they say, you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, I don't think that these people were too happy. Trying to find a cheap piece of land to put his mobile home on was not very cheap. It was actually very expensive. So eventually he found a stick-built house that they could afford, and they had no problem getting a conventional mortgage. Came with a 1/4 acre of land as well. It was a happy ending as he used to be a renter and got out right as the rents began skyrocketing. Now, as long as he pays his mortgage on time, he has an affordable home where the price will stay the same and won't constantly be going up and down. An affordable home for the rest of his life. Now, isn't that a sweet story, right? But seriously, guys, he still warns me to this day about the owning the land beneath you rule. But I don't know, with the current housing affordability crisis going on, these things may be changing. Now, it seems like mobile homes are starting to shine as one of the last affordable housing options out there. But what about you guys? Are you thinking about downsizing or exploring alternative living arrangements? Maybe a tiny house, living off grid, living in a van? Well, a mobile home might just be the perfect home or perfect option for you. But hold on, guys, because mobile homes, they're not your typical houses. Now, while they offer significant cost savings compared to traditional homes, there's a lot of other expenses that you need to take into account. Now, I think first and foremost, we need to talk about the cost of mobile homes and other things that you need to know about. Now, let's clarify things first. Like, what exactly is considered a mobile home? People get these things confused because, in many cases, mobile homes are what we now call manufactured homes. And so basically, these homes are constructed in a factory, and so they're transported to their final destination. So you can see the difference between a traditional home construction where homes are built on site. I think it was around 1989 when the housing industry changed the name from mobile homes to manufactured homes because of all the things like increased size, weight, and the new code standards that they now have to follow. However, there are cases where homes are actually still considered mobile when they're trailer homes. Now, it's really important to note that trailer homes depreciate in value much like cars and other vehicles, because unless they're permanently affixed to the land, trailer homes are not typically considered real property. So they're regulated more like cars. So if a trailer home has wheels, they need to be removed during installation, and the home will require tie downs to anchor it securely to the ground. Curious about the cost of a mobile home? Well, it all depends on a lot of different things, like the type of home that it is, its condition, and the location of the purchase. But let me go ahead and break it down for you guys. So just to give you kind of a ballpark here, mobile home prices can range anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000, making them generally somewhere between $200,000 to $300,000 cheaper than your average single family home. But then again, there are some other factors that definitely change the cost of the mobile home. How many of you guys knew that mobile homes could cost as much as $500,000? All right, so for example, builders. So if your mobile home is manufactured off-site, you can get quotes from different companies. Manufactured or prefabricated homes are built new and then delivered to the permanent site to be assembled. And since we're talking about their comparison with cars, mobile homes also have that new versus used debate. So used homes have already had a life before coming into your hands, which can affect the final cost. And don't forget about the cost of land either. Now, aside from buying the mobile home, you may also need to buy or lease the land where you place it. Depending upon the developer or the seller, they may sell separate this from the unit purchase or bundle them all together. Now, if you really want to jazz it up with additional options and customizations, kind of like the top of the line appliances, or maybe you want to upgrade your doors, you can expect the price tag to go up along with it. And there's also utilities, the cost of internet, cable service, and of course the hookup fees to water, sewage, and other utilities. And the same with homes. If you put less than 20% down, you may have additional monthly insurance costs on top of your mortgage payment. So when considering the cost of the mobile home, take these factors into account. You might be paying PMI and not even realize it. It's all about finding the right balance for your budget and your needs. But buying a mobile home definitely has some advantages worth considering. Like, for example, the lower overall cost. Compared to traditional single-family homes, mobile homes come at a significantly lower price point, making them much more affordable housing options for a lot of people. They're also built faster. Usually, they build mobile homes in climate-controlled warehouses, which pretty much means no weather delays during construction. Plus, they're up to code, so there's quality and safety checks before they're even shipped out. And another thing that really surprised me about mobile homes is how easy it is to customize them. Just really tailor fit your mobile home according to your needs, whether it's your home's layout or even getting a larger unit for more space and more square footage. Now, just a friendly warning though about permits. When you're buying a mobile home, make sure you check if all the necessary permits are in order. You don't want to find out that, that beautiful addition that you fell in love with wasn't permitted or up to code. Now, trust me, it is a nightmare scenario that could leave you with a very costly mistake and an unsellable property. So always review those permits before you make an offer or put in an addition. One more thing, there is financing available. I know that's something that many people ask about. If you own the land where your mobile home will be situated, securing a mortgage for it is relatively straightforward. But if you're leasing the land or you're residing in a park, traditional banks may not provide financing, or they may want to charge you a much higher interest rate. Now, if that's the case, I highly recommend talking with a mortgage broker. They got access to alternative lenders or setting up a chattel mortgage. That could possibly be your best bet. And so what a chattel mortgage is, it's a loan for a manufactured home or other movable piece of personal property, kind of like machinery or a vehicle. Now, those were the advantages of getting that mobile home. Now, of course, we got to talk about the cons of buying a mobile home as well, right? Now, some tips that I've heard. Don't buy into a rental park. Look for mobile home communities where the residents own the park or the land. That way, no one can sell it out from under you. Number two, if you're considering an older home, check out what homeowner's insurance is available. Now, if your home is too old, then sometimes you just can't even insure it. So imagine owning a mobile home in a cozy park in Florida, paying a reasonable land lease of $480 per month. But wait, here comes the notice. Your monthly payment just shot up to a whopping $970. And what's the park's response? If you're not happy, pack up your house and move. Well, that's clearly a lot easier said than done. Many people just simply can't afford these sudden increases, and they definitely don't have the funds to pick up or relocate their mobile homes. So they end up trapped, paying those sky-high rents. Then you got real estate investors all too eager to buy out the entire mobile home park so that they can raise those lots' rents even higher. It is definitely scary what's happening to the mobile home communities, guys. Check this out.
None of us in here can make the kind of money that they're looking for.
The owner sold Crenshaw Lake Mobile Home Park to a new company. Now it's called Tampa Sun Estates 2. And in a matter of months, according to this letter from management, the people here have to buy their homes. Tenants who don't want to stay or can't afford it have to be out in July.
There's a lot of people that are going to be homeless, and I'm worried because these neighbors are friends of mine, and it's like I said, some of them have been here 20 years, 35 years.
Many of them are elderly or disabled and have few other options to move somewhere else.
And there's nothing out there affordable. I'm on a fixed income. I'm retired.
The people here are not alone. The investors have bought several other mobile home parks.
A lot of Americans have considered downsizing to a mobile home, but changed their minds because of this. Investors and corporations are basically pricing out the middle class and even the poor and senior citizens. Y'all know what I mean, right? Also, you may have noticed mobile homes are generally harder to finance. Getting a mortgage for a mobile home can be more challenging, especially if you do not own the land that it sits on. Lenders generally consider people in this situation as a higher risk, so they end up charging higher interest rates. And so that's why more people recommend getting a mortgage broker so that you can access a lot of different lenders. There could also be some possible upfront costs, but then again, they could give you the option to lease the land, which could be a more affordable choice depending upon the location, but it's kind of like renting all over again. But really, it's important to weigh these factors carefully before making your decision. Now, I can't just recommend one decision about mobile homes because really, it boils down to your own personal decision, your own personal financial situation, and your housing needs. Instead, let me just talk about some financing options real quick, right? So So you guys should tell mortgages, and we talked briefly about this earlier. So these mortgages are specifically designed for manufactured and modular homes as well as movable properties like vehicles. But what this means is that falling behind on payments can result in the lender taking possession of your home. But that's kind of the same thing as defaulting on a traditional mortgage, really. Now, speaking of, if you own the land where the mobile home will be placed, you can obtain a mortgage just like you would with any other kind of home. And even if you're leasing or renting the land, alternative lenders or credit unions might still offer mortgages at higher interest rates. But another financing option to consider is personal loans. Now, they're usually unsecured and can be used for pretty much whatever purpose you can think of, like, for example, financing a mobile home. But keep in mind that the interest rates on personal loans are usually higher compared to mortgages, and repayment terms are way shorter. Now, if you guys like this video and you made it this far, please drop a quick like for the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel. And if you already own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below this video.